Are we ready? Yes? Ready? Okay.
Good.
Okay, good afternoon. Thanks for all you guys coming here today. Again, it's an anxious time for all of us. We want everyone to know that the City of Fresno is doing everything in our power to protect the health of our community. And once again, I ask the people of Fresno to remain calm during these highly unusual, confusing, and stressful times. Again, we are all in this together. Yesterday, we called the people of Fresno to shelter in place as of midnight. And I'm happy to say that the overwhelming majority of our community recognize the danger of the coronavirus and have taken this issue seriously and are staying home and complying with this and practicing social distancing. The better job we do now in containing the spread of the coronavirus, the faster we will recover and the faster we'll be able to return to our normal lives. We've received a flood of phone calls and emails about emergency order and are answering each one as fast as we can. We're constantly updating our website to make sure people get the correct information. Go to www.fresno.gov and click the coronavirus update, and you'll see if we have already answered your questions. I'm happy to see that most grocery stores in Fresno are making accommodations for people over the age of 65, are disabled, or have health issues to get the groceries and other supplies that they need. I also want the people of Fresno to know that the city will continue to provide essential services such as police, fire, water, garbage, street maintenance, and the like. And now I would like to ask Police Chief Andy Hall to tell you what the brave men and women of the Fresno Police Department are doing during this time. Andy?
Thank you, Mayor. Good afternoon. My name is Andrew Hall, Chief of Police for the Fresno Police Department. I represent over 800 police officers and over 200 non-sworn staff. I want to let our community know that the men and women of the Fresno Police Department, both sworn and non-sworn, understand the importance of this crisis and want to let you know that we are here for the community. Our employees are reporting to work and they're doing their jobs. You know, when we signed up for this job, we raised our right hand, and we swore an oath to serve this community. And I am here to tell you we will honor that commitment. If you call the Fresno Police Department, an emergency dispatcher will answer your call for help, and a police officer will respond. Make no mistake, we will be patrolling our streets, our neighborhoods, and our shopping centers to keep this community safe. That is our commitment to you. We will not abandon the community during a time of crisis. The men and women of the Fresno Police Department risk their lives every day to protect this community. And I have met with them, the employees, and they fully understand this commitment and are ready to meet this challenge. With that said, we are still doing everything possible that we can to keep our officers and our non-sworn staff safe. And I can go over some of those, but most of them are closing our front counters, keeping the distance, and making sure that we wipe down our surfaces and wash our hands. The very same thing we're asking our community to do. I'd like to emphasize that if you call for a police officer or a firefighter, we will be there for you.
Thank you. And now I'm going to ask our Fire Chief, Carrie Donis, to give the same explanation what our brave men and women of the fire department are doing.
Good afternoon. My name is Carrie Donis, Fire Chief for the City of Fresno. I'll be succinct in my comments. Let me be clear, the fire department continues 24/7, 365, 24-hour operations. We have taken internal safety precaution measures with PPE, proper hand washing and disinfecting. But yes, your firefighters and public safety officers, we're on the front lines of this virus. And it is likely, a much higher likelihood that our firefighters or police officers are at a higher risk of being exposed. But we are a dedicated public safety profession, and we will continue to respond to serve our community. We are making our own internal Department Operations Center pre-planning measures in the event that this continues to be more widespread downstream, and what we need to do to respond to that internally. And we ask our citizens to call 911 if you're having an emergency, a medical emergency, and response will happen. But we also ask you to let us know if you are having a fever, if you are have a rash, if you're coughing, if you've been out of country. Tell us that when we come to the door so we can better be prepared to limit the exposure to not just 3 or 4 of the crew, but maybe just one member of that particular crew. Thank you.
Thank you, Chief Donis, and thank you, Chief Hall. So please stay calm and join us in stopping the coronavirus by practicing social distancing and hand washing. So thank you, and now we'll take questions.
Mayor, if you could just sort of clear up some confusion that residents might have, both residents, families, and businesses. Is this mandatory? What can you tell those folks?
It's not mandatory for the citizens. We're asking for them to comply, and so far we've had a great success for people. People are not going to get pulled over for driving at the wrong hours. They're not going to ask people to do something that they wouldn't normally do. But we're getting a great response. It's almost like a Christmas or Thanksgiving when you go out on a Sunday and the parking lots are bare. There's hardly anybody on the streets. So we're getting fewer people are getting the message, and they're doing it. On businesses, it is mandatory, but there's got to be a complaint. We got to focus on that, and we can use it through CUPs and other probably code enforcement to enforce that. Does that answer your question?
Yeah, that was kind of my next question. What happens to those businesses who do not comply?
Well, the worst thing we could pull their CUP, do an administrative citation, and could potentially close them down. We're trying not to do that. We're not going to be heavy-handed about that. We know there's a tremendous impact, particularly on small business. In fact, we're doing everything we can to find relief for not only our residents, but our small businesses at a variety of levels.
Mayor, I think you may have just cleared it up, but one of the most common questions I'm seeing, if people can travel to another city, either Clovis or Visalia or Sanger, to visit relatives there. Maybe if you can clear that up. And also, I'm hearing our questions aren't being picked up on the mic, so if you maybe...
Well, the questions and the emails just keep coming, but yes, you can travel between Fresno and Clovis, or you go to Southern California to see relatives. We're just asking people to be mindful of how this virus is spread, and the less contact you have, the better you practice social distancing, the safer we're all going to be.
At what point would you consider really going to all these businesses? Like, is there a certain point where you're thinking, okay, the voluntary isn't working for some businesses, we're going to go
somebody
down
at
the
risk.
Yeah. Well, do you want to answer that, Andy?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Again, we're getting great voluntary compliance from our business owners. I think they also understand the crisis, and they're heeding the words of our community leaders. We have not had any issues with any business owners so far, and we don't anticipate it. However, if there is a situation where we feel that a business owner is putting our community at risk, we will take action.
Speaking to maybe, some of the surrounding cities aren't really following your guys' suit, and so some people going to businesses or going to places to get their hair cut, maybe Clovis or the surrounding areas. Are you guys concerned at all about that?
Ideally, we would like to have everybody in tandem. Our city manager has met on a daily basis with county health officials, county supervisors, and an ongoing dialogue. I believe within the next few days you'll probably see everybody in compliance, but until then we have to do the best we can, and we hope that people in other cities exercise the same kind of precautions we're asking our citizens to do.
Are you considering in any time to go from non mandatory to mandatory?
This is through March 31st, and it's literally monitored daily. We have daily meetings on what's going on with all the people from our police department, fire department, and other departments. So day to day through March 31st, and at March 31st, we will evaluate where we're at and see if there's any need to make any adjustments one way or the other.
Mayor, what metrics are you going to use to determine whether to lift the state of emergency by March 31st?
Well, there'll be, I think so far, and maybe Chief Hall can elaborate, but I believe our crimes are actually down. People are pretty calm. I think they're recognizing there's a lot of sacrifice here. It's amazing the resiliency of the citizens of Fresno in taking on these challenges. And I can't see there's any specific factors, and a lot will be, I guess, primarily will depend on the stage of this virus and how many cases are there, how many are known to be infected or in quarantine. That's probably the biggest factor, but there'll be other factors too.
Is there like a magic number?
No, there's no magic number because the nature of this virus is it's like an exponential nightmare in terms of when it comes, and there's a lot of people out now right now probably that have been exposed, but we don't have the testing capability to do that. The sooner that all the cities in California get the capability of having testing, the better handle we're going to have on this virus. I know that Fresno County is on top of this, but there's so many unknowns out there, and we're in this totally different territory here that nobody has all the answers. We're just doing the best we can.
Mayor Brand, can you speak a little bit about the council this morning and just talking about evictions and that kind of stuff and how big of a factor that is playing into the asking people to shelter?
Well, this is part of the governor's executive order about a moratorium on evictions, not only for residential, but commercial. And I said this a couple of days ago, nobody in Fresno is going to lose their home because of the coronavirus. We're going to, give the allowance and the forbearance on rent to get by, and particularly it's also on commercials. A lot of small businesses are going to struggle. I made a few phone calls myself today to owners of shopping centers to ask them for forbearance on some of their tenants, to other types of concessions, to reduce the impact. And honestly, the faster we can get through this by taking this approach, which is going to cause a lot of pain, the goal is to shorten the duration and get us back to life as normal. Whether that's 60 days or 90, I don't know what that time is, but we want to go as fast as possible. And the best way to achieve that is to contain this virus, I've heard this a million times, and flatten the curve.
Yeah, there is a resolution for the restaurants. What about the street vendors like taco trucks or the people who are on hands with cell phones?
To my knowledge, and correct me if I'm wrong, the mobile food vendors can do that. They're not prohibited because that's part of the, as long as they exercise social distancing, so you stand in line, you're 6 feet apart, they can continue their operation.
One more, guys. Chief Hall, talk about if you had, or even for Chief Donis, have you had to send officers home because they have display symptoms?
Again, we have over 800 officers. We have currently 7 officers that are currently at home for chronic ongoing illnesses. Our staffing levels are fine, and we're easily absorbing those.
Thanks. Hey guys, we're going to.
I think, did you want to?
Have Mayor just finish up public remarks and then I'll wrap up with you guys. Thanks.
Again, thank you for being here. These are indeed trying times. We're doing the best we can, and we want to reassure our citizens to remain calm. We're going to get through this as soon as possible and return you to life as normal and restore our economy. In my hope and I pray that we get there as soon as possible. Thank you.
And thanks for